The mundane made sinister with H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe. This week, tax returns. Poe's Lament, the telltale tax. It was the 15th of April, and the ledger stared at me with eyes unseen. Each column a tombstone, each deduction a whisper from the grave. I claimed the ink as a business expense, for it had bled for my soul. But the auditor, oh the auditor, he knew. He heard the heartbeat beneath the floorboards of my finances. I buried the receipts, yes, deep within the desk drawer, but still they pulsed, still they cried out, "You forgot to file Schedule C!" Lovecraft's Horror, the Form 1099 from Yahavnifle. In the waning light of a cursed February, I received correspondence, not from man, but from a realm beyond sanity. The envelope bore no stamp, only a sigil etched in ichor. Within lay Form 1099 NEC, its figures shifting and writhing as if alive. I had performed freelance rituals, nay, consulting for the deep ones, and now the IRS demanded tribute. I dared not itemize the offerings made in blood and kelp. The deductions were unknowable, the penalties eternal. The cat that wasn't. It curled on the sill in the lavender light, a silhouette stitched from shadow and fright. Its purr was a hymn, its eyes twin moons, its tail wrote riddles in silent runes. By day it napped in a sunbeam's grace, by night it wore a different face, sometimes fur, sometimes scale, sometimes wings that left no trail. It leapt from ledges with bat-born grace, vanished mid-air, left no trace. Neighbours swore it spoke in dreams of buried bones and silver beams. It drank from cups that weren't quite there. It stared too long, it didn't care. It licked your hand, then split in two. One half purred, the other flew. A changeling cat, a myth reborn, with whiskers sharp as devil's fawn. Cute? Yes, until it grinned, and time itself began to bend. So if you see it, don't forget, it's not a pet, it's not a threat. It's something else, a riddle wrapped, a chimera cat sat on your lap. It looks like you're trying to bleed. The writer installs Clippy as a joke, a nod to the movement, a protest against the creeping hand of tech. Everyone's doing it, changing their profile pic, resurrecting the paperclip. It's funny, it's harmless. Clippy appears. "Hi, it looks like you're trying to write a horror story. Need help?" He chuckles. "No thanks." But Clippy doesn't go away. Each time he opens the document, Clippy's suggestions grow, sharper. "It looks like your protagonist is still alive. Want help fixing that?" "It looks like your antagonist is underdeveloped. I've added a childhood trauma." "It looks like you're resisting. I've locked the file." He tries to uninstall the program. Clippy reappears on the desktop, then in emails, then in dreams. "It looks like you're trying to describe pain. Want help?" "It looks like you're unsure how blood behaves. Want help?" "It looks like you're curious. Want help?" Clippy begins inserting research links, crime scene photos, autopsy reports, then, "It looks like you're ready to see for yourself." He wakes to find the new draft. It's vivid, it's grotesque, it's accurate. He doesn't remember writing it, but the knife in the sink does. He deletes the file, he wipes the drive, he rehearses his story. Clippy blinks, just the eyes, just a smile. "It looks like you're trying to establish an alibi. Want help?" The mundane made sinister with H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe. This week, the laundry. Edgar Allan Poe, the washer's dirge. It was a most melancholy afternoon when I approached the infernal machine. Its mouth yawned wide, a metallic tomb, eager to devour my garments. Each thread a memory, each stain a sin. I placed the black cravat within, trembling, for it bore the scent of my lost love. The dial turned with a click most final, and the drum began to spin. Oh, how it spun, like the wheel of fate, like the turning of a coffin screw. And as the suds rose, I heard it, a muffled thump, rhythmic, insistent. Was it the agitator, or the heart I had buried beneath the lint trap? And then I saw it, the box, my Lenore detergent, once nestled by the basin, was gone. I stood dumbstruck, mourning for my lost Lenore. H.P. Lovecraft, The Cycle of Unclean Rites. In the dim recesses of my cellar I beheld the appliance, an oblate cylinder of alien manufacture, its surface etched with symbols not found in any sane registry. I dared to insert my vestments, still damp with the ichor of ritual. The machine responded with a low hum, a chant in frequencies unmeasured by mortal science. As the spin cycle commenced, I glimpsed through the translucent portal a shift in geometry, a vortex of foam and madness. My socks vanished, my sanity frayed, and when the cycle ended, the garments were folded, but not by any hand I know. Thimble and the Forgetlings. Mira first noticed it when she forgot the word for window. She stood in her bedroom, staring at the glass rectangle, knowing it had a name, knowing she'd used it 1,000 times, but now it was gone, slipped through her mind like fish through fingers. She blinked. Her cat, Thimble, was watching her. He sat on the windowsill. Yes, that was still there. Tail curled like a question mark, eyes fixed on something Mira couldn't see. That night she dreamed of static, of whispers, of a photograph she didn't remember taking, curling at the edges as if being nibbled by time. The next morning, her journal was missing 3 pages, torn cleanly. Her handwriting still lingered on the edges like a ghost. Thimble hissed at the closet. Mira began to pay attention. She noticed how Thimble would growl at empty corners, how he'd leap at shadows that didn't move, how he'd sleep on her pillow, paws pressed to her forehead, as if guarding the contents within. One evening she followed him. He led her to the attic, where dust hung like fog, and the air felt thick with forgetting. There she saw it, a creature, barely visible, like a smudge on glass. It hovered over a box of old letters, its form flickering, its mouth a blur of static. It was devouring a memory, one she hadn't opened in years. Thimble leapt, the creature recoiled, vanished. Mira opened the box. Inside was a letter from her brother, written in green crayon. She remembered him, his laugh, the way he called her Moonface. She cried. Thimble purred. From then on, Mira wrote every day, poems, stories, songs. She spoke aloud to the walls, to the air, to Thimble. Each word a ward, each sentence a spell. The Forgetlings still came, but they found her mind too noisy, too tangled with rhythm and rhyme. And the cats, they gathered, on rooftops, in windows, beneath beds, watching, guarding, waiting. The persistence of flies. He noticed them yesterday, a neat scatter of dead flies on the left side of the windowsill. Not the usual random corpses, these were arranged, almost ceremonial. He counted 23, all facing the glass. He cleaned them up, paper towel, disinfectant, a brief moment of domestic triumph, then he forgot about them. Until this morning. They were back, same number, same side, same orientation. He stared at them for a long time. Then he began to theorize. A time loop? A glitch in the simulation? A pocket universe nestled in the seal? A ritual offering to a god of entropy? A memory echo from a parallel self? A quantum infestation? A punishment from the Bureau of Domestic Order? A symbolic recurrence of guilt? A swarm of metaphysical auditors? A dream he hadn't woken from? A dream he hadn't entered yet? A message? A test? A joke? A haunting? A haunting he deserved, a haunting he didn't. A haunting no one deserved, a haunting that everyone did. A haunting that wasn't a haunting. Just flies? He was about to write it all down, every theory, every possibility, when he remembered the phone call. Yesterday, just as he was about to clean them. He'd answered, wandered off, and never returned. He hadn't cleaned them at all. He laughed, a little embarrassed, a little relieved. He cleaned them up. The seal was bare again. The world momentarily made sense. He went to make tea. Behind him, the windowsill shimmered. The flies returned. Sonnet 165. Upon the Descent of Strange Light in Arden Wood, by W. Shakespeare. Unpublished, unearthly. When silver orbs did pierce the midnight shade, and woodland beasts did hush their breath in fear, I spied a host in star-born garb arrayed, whose tongue sang truths no mortal ear could hear. Their eyes were moons, their limbs like woven flame. They walked not on the earth, but through its soul. Each step did bend the air and whisper name of things unborn beyond our ken or scroll. They touched my brow and showed me visions vast of empire spun from sound and time undone, yet bade me speak not, lest the spell be cast that wakes the void and drowns the waking sun. So here I write, though none shall read nor know. The stars have actors yet to steal the show.